Hello. Long time no see. As you can see by the title, today we are going to be going over the newest batch of Flavorah flavors that just dropped. I think it was the 8th, a couple days ago. I've had mine for just under a week, but I have not tried any of the finalized flavors. I've tried a couple of beta ones, but not like the actual final version, and only a couple of the betas. So I'm going to try to go through these as quickly as possible. As you know, if you've watched me anytime, me being quick about anything is not likely, especially when it comes to talking. I usually am very long-winded. Plus, I do want to get into where I've been, because I've been MIA on this channel for about 2 months now, if not longer, which is a long time for me. I think it's the longest I've ever not done a video since I started this channel. I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I do want to talk about that. But mainly, this is about the new Flavorah flavors. Bull City Flavor is running a sale on Flavorah flavors. It ends today. It's 20% off, and that includes the new flavors. And it's just Flavorah 20 as your coupon code. If for some reason that code doesn't work, or if you're watching this after today, which is March, is it March? March 10th, you can use coupon code Mixin' Vixens for 6% off, and that's just site-wide. It's not as good as 20, but it's something. So yeah, we're going to get right into the flavors. There are 16 flavors. So as I said, there's quite a lot to go through, so I'm going to try to get through at least most of them, or the ones of most interest. Some of these, I don't know how good they are going to be on their own, because they're more of like an additive, but I guess we'll find out, maybe. I'm going to go quickly through the new flavors, just so you know what they are, and if there are any that speak to you that you want me to do sooner, or make sure that I get to, put it in the live chat, and we'll start there. Otherwise, I'm just going to do the ones that are most interesting to me. Because, I mean, I don't really have anything else to go by if you guys don't give me feedback. All right, so new flavors. Again, there's 16 of them. Back bar bitters, which I'm guessing is like the bitters you'd add to a cocktail. Black currant, Brut bubble wine. Not really sure what that is. I don't know if Brut is a brand. I think it's a brand. I don't know. Citrus soda. That's one of the few that I have tried. Cola, which I do also believe I've tried. Honeydew, Jammy Berry, Juniper Gin, Marshmallow Vanilla, Melon Rind, Pink Fruit, Rose Essence, Smoothie Base, Starch Base, Sweet and Smokey Tobacco, and Tequila Agave. So let me know if any of those sound particularly interesting to you. And we'll start there. I guess until we get feedback, I'm going to do the one that I've been wanting to do the most, and it's the Honeydew. I'm really bummed, as I stated on Mixin' Vixens, if you weren't watching, that the Honeydew and all that didn't come sooner, because they were supposed to actually come Saturday. Like it was scheduled to be delivered Saturday, which would have been okay. It's like a day before the last episode, but it gave me a little bit of time. Because a lot of these flavors would have gone perfectly with the profile that we were doing, which was like a melon ball soda drink. But unfortunately, my mail sucks, and they didn't deliver it until Monday, which is obviously a day after the show, and therefore too late. But I'm still excited, mainly about the Honeydew, because I love Honeydew. It's one of my favorite fruits. But I pretty much like any melon I've tried so far. I haven't tried a whole lot, but like I love watermelon, love honeydew, like cantaloupe, Cantaloupe's probably my least favorite, but I still like it. And that's as much as I can remember as far as melons go. I mixed all of these at 0.5%, which is fairly low. However, I do think some of these are very strong and need to be mixed that low. From what I've gathered and just kind of like how Flavorah has done things in the past, it seems like additives and I don't know about their alcohol, but possibly alcohol, they tend to do, it's a little bit stronger. Generally, I'm about 1% with Flavorah. Like if I'm single flavor testing something, it's at 1% or lower. Tobaccos is usually 50%, or yeah, 50, 0.5%. That's pretty much across the board, if not lower. Now, mind you, I do vape low wattage, and my palate is a little bit more sensitive than most people's, which is why I'm very picky about everything. So bear those in mind. Those do take into account how your experience is going to be, as well as your equipment, PG-VG ratio, quality of your nicotine, level of your nicotine, etc., etc. So I need to get new scissors because all these scissors suck. Trying to cut my wick and it's like cutting through wool. But I heard this Honeydew is pretty good. Like I have not heard a bad review on it. Now, mind you, a lot of people didn't have the flavors when I was talking about them because we got ours a little sooner than the public, mainly to do these types of videos. Had I got my flavors last Saturday, I would have done this show last Sunday, but I did not have them, and during the week is not really an option. I work 12 to 9. I don't really like doing live shows in the evenings. It tends to be when the trolls come out, and especially with the way my mind's been lately, I don't want to deal with it. I don't know how many people that are here were at my live, because I did do a brief live show. It was like right at the beginning of my hiatus from this channel, maybe a week or two into it, kind of explaining what was going on. And there was just this one asshole that was there, and it just like really irritated me. And especially like the way I was feeling. Basically, my mom had to have a pretty severe surgery about, let's see, what it was. It was February 1st, I'm pretty sure. Everything's just kind of like time is just like whooshing together. But February 1st, she had to have a pretty serious surgery. She's been having ongoing health issues for some time now. So the severity of the surgery on top of that, it just wasn't looking very good. And she lives out of state, not super far away, but far enough where it's not like super convenient to just run over anytime. So I had to take time off, go do that. And not only was it a surgery, it involved cancer. So if the surgery wasn't successful or they weren't able to remove everything, then you're dealing with that on top of everything else. So it was a lot that was going on, and it's still going on. She's still recovering from the surgery. Luckily, as far as they've been able to tell so far, it doesn't seem that it's spread. But she's having complications as a result of the surgery. So she's still in the hospital. So it's been a lot, and I have not been in the mindset to be doing this even just every other week like I was. I put everything in the back burner pretty much. I even took the one Sunday off from Mix and Vixens, which I don't really take off for that channel. Like, I think that was the second time I've ever not done that show. So I just needed to take a step back. Plus, I've been spending more time with family, actually going out on the weekends, which is not something I was doing or have been doing for a long time. Just to not sink back into depression, because I've had depression for pretty much most of my life. As far back as I can remember, it's bad and worse, or better and worse. But if I don't watch myself, I will slip into depression where I just don't talk to anyone and just seclude. And I didn't want to do that. So I've been spending more time with family, especially in light of all this going on with my mom. I was spending more time with my brother, my sister, my dad, because those are my immediate family that are here. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I don't want to make this super like sad or anything like that. It's part of the reason I didn't want to talk about it. I don't really like to purposefully make people sad or like whatever, but I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. So on a Honeydew, Flavorah Honeydew. I have it on the icon, and we'll see how it goes. I think the coil needs to be changed on this, because it hasn't been changed in a while. We'll see how it vapes. If it seems okay, we'll proceed. If not, I have like a whole little bowl of RDAs over here that we can switch to, and we will switch, you know, throughout the thing, different RDAs, because even though they're mostly fruits, there are a couple of odd ones that aren't really, I don't want to vape on top of each other. Oh, the box. I've been trying to declutter a lot of stuff, so that's what that box is. It's supposed to be going off to, it's like a secondhand shop thing. I don't know where my cats are. Blue was here, and then she left. If you guys want to see her, I can call her in here. Momo's in the other room. I don't know. So Honeydew. It kind of tastes similar to Delosi's. Now, I haven't single flavor tested Delosi's yet. I've only done it in a mixture. But from what I could taste in that mixture, it tastes similar. Whereas it's a more authentic Honeydew. Still not quite 100% Honeydew, but it's closer to a real Honeydew with a little bit of a candied element. It is sweet. It almost tastes like, it reminds me of Wayne's Honeydew Boba for some reason, even just by itself. So I don't know if they added vanilla or something in it, but it almost has like a cotton candy, like a vanilla cotton candied flavor to it, which is interesting. I don't know. It's weird. It's good. Still not 100% Honeydew though. It's like a candied real hybrid of Honeydew. What we're going to do next is we're going to add the Melon Rind to it to see if that makes it a little bit more authentic. Because a lot of people were like, Melon Rind, that sounds disgusting. I'll never use that. Me, I was super excited because a lot of melons or fruits in general, there's Blue. Want to say hi? She's very talkative. You getting big, huh? You causing trouble? Raising hell? Mm-hmm. You behave. A lot of fruits and melons are missing that realistic element, whether it be the skin or the rind or whatever. And you can kind of emulate that by doing cucumber, things like that. But a lot of them are missing the rind. And some people might not want that. And some people do. Me, it depends on what I'm doing. But if I'm going super authentic, like that drink I was going to do, or that I did, I'd want the rind to be there a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a lot. So I think it could be really useful if you're using it. So I'm going to test it on top of this Honeydew. Again, at 0.5%. Honestly, for me, the 0.5% is perfectly fine for me. It's pretty strong, but not overpowering. These have been sitting since Friday, so not super long. I did all of these because I've been procrastinating like really badly, especially with single flavor testing. So I got it all done out of the way So I didn't have an excuse not to do it. So we're going to drip the melon rind on top of this. And then we're also probably going to try it without, just to see what it's like completely by itself. But I am curious to add them together and see what happens there. So it did add like a bitterness to it, which if you've ever gotten too close to the outside of a melon, that's what it does. It's not completely off-putting, but I'd probably bump it down to like 1/4% for like what I would be going for with it. Now, mind you, it's at equal parts to the melon, so that's probably part of the problem or the problem entirely. So yeah, I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. I just need to lower it. I would do like a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 being the fruit part or the melon, and then the 1 being the rind. But yeah, I could see it being useful. We'll see. So I'm going to probably going to switch RDAs. The problem, like, it's wrapped a little bit higher resistance-wise. Because I like all of mine to be pretty much at 0.3. That's my sweet spot. And it's a little bit higher than that. And because of that, I can't bump it up as high as I want it to. So I'm going to switch to, let's see what this other icon is wrapped at. I don't remember. I like using icons for flavor testing because I'm very familiar with them. It's one of the RDAs I've had longest, and I also have 2 of them. So it makes it a little bit easier to remain consistent because, I mean, if you're testing these flavors on all different RDAs, you're going to get a different experience. So I try to keep them as consistent as possible. So this one's wrapped a little bit higher. Not much, though. We're going to try her. Ow, that was hot. Yeah, I need new scissors. All these scissors suck. Yeah, I've heard good things about the naked flavors. I haven't bought commercial juice in it's like almost a year. Because technically, when I was at the vape show, I bought some juice. Because honestly, when you're at a vape shop or vape show, at least the ones I've been to, I think the bigger ones are a little bit better. But it's mostly juice. You're not going to see a whole lot of hardware and all that other kind of stuff that I'd actually want to see at a convention. So I usually get suckered into buying at least a few bottles of e-juice, which I still have and have barely touched since then. Because I swear, it's like you try them at like either a vape shop or a convention, and it tastes completely different when you get it home. And it doesn't matter what you put it in, how long you let it steep. It still tastes like crap, but it tasted amazing at the shop. So it's like, what are you doing? I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't think it's quite 70 here. I think it's supposed to get up to 50, which is fine for me. I'm not quite ready for summer yet, but spring would be nice. Or at least some consistency in the temperature, because it's been like a yo-yo this entire winter. I think this is like the weirdest winter I've ever experienced, which in Cleveland, Ohio is saying a lot because our winters are typically pretty weird. So, I don't know. As far as new equipment, I haven't really gotten any new equipment. I got this. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I've showed this. I've had it for a little bit now. It's the Tesla Punk. Whatever, 220. But I'm pretty sure I've showed you guys that before. Been wanting that mod for a while and finally just got it. I try to at least have a couple of like spare mods in case my dad's fail him, because it's happened a couple times where he's had to borrow something. And I don't have like this vast collection of mods because I don't really need them. I find one I like, I use it until it either stops working or I get a new one. That's pretty much how it is. Same with flavors. If I find an e-juice I like, I vape it until I either can't taste it anymore or, you know, during a show or something, I mix something that I like better or whatever. But generally I'm the same. Just vaping the same things. Other things I've been up to, I've been shooting a lot. I actually did a class yesterday, very early, so I'm still kind of recovering from the weird sleeping, because anytime I have something to do the next day, I have even more problems sleeping, which I already have issues getting to sleep as it is, but it gets worse. And I had to be at the place at 8 o'clock, which is a normal time for people, but for me, I'm getting up at 10 a.m. at the earliest to get to work. It's early. But it was fun. I got to shoot a lot of different things. I got to learn how to hold the gun more properly, because there was like one slight thing that I was doing that was kind of making it more difficult to hold. Actually, my brother was doing the same thing. I already have a weak grip in general. I think it's from the years of video games and computer use. But just like that one little tweak made it a lot easier. Also a slight change in my stance, which my stance does still need work. But if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see like the picture. I was proud of my my target. Like, there was only a couple that weren't in the target, and that was with a handgun. Usually when I have like the really good shots, that's with the scope, which, you know, it's easier obviously to aim when you have a scope. When you're just trying to use your eyeballs and like the kick from it, because like the rifle that we use with the scope has like no kick at all. Like, that's one of the reasons I like it. The handguns, they have a kick. Makes it harder to, you know, get where you're going. But I did good. Even the instructor said I did really well. She said I did better than my brother. Looking at everyone's, I honestly would say I was probably second best in like I think it was 10 people, 8, 10 people, something like that. The one girl just completely stopped. She was too freaked out to do it. And it's like, well, can I have her bullets? Like, it just seems like a waste. Like, she used like half of her bullets. It's like, dude, like, I still want to shoot. Like, let me have it. And especially considering that those, that tart, you know, how I shot, like, I've only shot, like, that was like my 4th time shooting. Like, I'm not an experienced lifelong shooter. So I was impressed with my, I did better than I expected to be honest. But yeah, it's really fun. I do it with my brother, sometimes my sister. And it's just something to do together that is a little different. It's like family time. And it's not that expensive. Like, my brother has his own stuff, so we use his. I was going to buy one. That was actually the point of me doing the class, was to find one I liked or have a better idea of like the type that I want. But After class was over, it was packed and I didn't feel like sitting around. I was starving. I didn't eat a proper breakfast before he went. So 6 hours after that, I wanted to eat. I didn't really feel like waiting either. And plus, like, I didn't really see anything like the two that I really liked, of course, are super expensive. And one's a Magnum. I don't need a Magnum. Like, not for now. Maybe like later, but like for my first piece, I want it to be something more realistic, and something that I'll be able to shoot and the ammo not be super expensive, because like the bigger ones, you know, the ammo could be ridiculous. So I'm looking for a 9 or something like that, a 9 or a 45. But the one that I like is a Sig Sauer. I don't know if that's pronouncing it right. And I don't remember the model, but I know it was a Sig. And it was like a full-size one, not a compact, because the full-size ones, for me, they feel better, number one, and they're easier to control because it has like a longer distance, so there's not as much of a kick from it, because I don't really like the recoil. I don't like the harsh recoil. But I will say, like I said, changing that little bit of how I held and how I stood really helped with how much of a recoil I got. Because when I shot the 45, and I only shot it a couple times, because it was like this person that was shooting around us, he let me and my brother shoot his, and it like scared me, because like it was worse than a 9, and the 9 was already pretty bad for me. But I don't know, after doing that class and just changing those things and then being more familiar with the guns and what they do and parts and all that other stuff, I was definitely a lot more comfortable with it. Yeah, that's what we did yesterday, is we used the 357 with the 38s. I don't know. I just feel like a Magnum is a bit much. Like, I just kind of want to stick with a 9. Plus, like, the Magnum is still, like, the second. Like, I liked the Sig the first, but it's, like, anywhere from $1,100 to $1,500 gun, of course, because my tastes are always ridiculous. No, the 320 is what... I don't think it was a 320. From looking online, it looked like the 210, maybe? See, this is why I can't get through 16 flavors, because I start talking about flavors and then get into this. 320. No, I don't think it was a 320. I want to say it was a 210. Yeah, it looks similar at least to the 210. So like that general style. And it's super expensive, but it feels so nice. The Beretta also felt really nice, but the shot was way off. Like both me and my brother, and I had been on target the entire time. That was like my first 2, like completely off the target. So I was like, nope, you're going back over there. Cause like we had a selection to choose from, which was nice. So I shot at least probably 15 different ones, if not more. I would say 15 is probably fair. So I tried to do at least 2 or 3 from each group, and we did like 6 groups. So I'd say at least 15, because like there was some like the Magnum where there were only like 5, so there was like less of a choice selection, whatever. Anyway, Melon Rind, not really all that great by itself, as you could imagine. I don't really get much from it. It's just kind of like a faint like a mild melon bitterness. So pretty much it's like eating the rind by itself with no inner part. So you want, Giancarlo, you're talking about like a video of me shooting? Because I actually have a small clip of one that my brother took and I didn't even know it. It was from our first time. I can see if I can upload it. I don't know if it'd be of interest, but Kimber Point. Well, the problem with Christmas is it'd be a Christmas present to myself, because at this point nobody exchanges gifts but me. So yeah, I still might end up getting the SIG. Because I mean, I technically have the money to spend. It's just priorities. Like, I do need a new car soon, things like that. And I just can't justify spending like $1,000 on a gun, like my first gun. I don't know, but it feels so nice in the hand. Like, there really is a big difference in like how it feels and like how long the handle is, and it's just weird. I never thought I would like shooting as much as I do. So I've always been more of like a sword person. But in my defense, I've never exactly been sword training either. So I imagine I'd really like that too. But I am liking it quite a lot. And the people are really friendly. I think like it seems like the people that get like the worst reputation about stuff, like vapors, get horrible reputations. People that like guns get horrible reputations. They end up being like the nicest people, because I think they're just like used to judgment, and maybe because of that they're more open-minded. I don't know. Well, the thing about the Walthers, the ones that I saw there, they were small. Like, I don't want like a tiny little compact gun. Now that I've found that I like the bigger guns and not all of them are ridiculously heavy and all that, I want like a mid-size, just like a regular size gun. I don't want the compact ones. They don't feel good in my hand. My brother got his rifle for like $2 something. Like, it was ridiculously cheap. And it's a fun little gun. I think he had to, buy the scope separate, which I think you have to do anyway. But it's fun. I definitely don't want to go on the like the low end and get like, because like they had guns as low as like $100 and something, like close to 200, but like 180, whatever. And some that were 200, whatever. I'm kind of like wanting to go mid-range, like 500. I think I should be able to get a decent gun. That's just what I'm hoping. I don't want to get something ridiculous for my first one. Like, I don't have like this extensive like budget. Anyway, so next, does anyone like have of the list I've put for flavors? Any ones that you want me to try? Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going. I think I'm going to do tequila next. I'm just going to drip it on top of the melon, because I've only done like 2 so far, and I've been like live for a half hour. Hi, Blue. Oh boy. She's so loud. All right, I'll do the cola next. Yeah, I know, Chachi. Well, I've been saying I need a new job for a couple years now too, so problem is my credit sucks. So I've been putting it off. I tend to put things off. Not everything, but certain things I will put off forever. Like getting a new job, new car. The new job is something more in my control. The car thing, not as much, because money. That was funny that you mentioned that, Cesare. The starch base smells spot on like saltine cracker to me. I haven't tried it yet, but it smells spot on like a cracker, for sure. So I'll do the cola next and then starch. The tequila, mind you, I've never really done shots of tequila. I've only had it mixed in things. It could be the melon. Flu. Making all that noise. I don't really know what you would use a cracker for in a mix. But whatever. You never know. All right, I'm going to try the agave on its own wick, not on top of the melon rind, because I don't know if the melon rind is making it funky or if that's just how it is. So far, I'm not a huge fan. Not terrible. I'd have to mix it. It's like if I'm mixing tequila, I'm not going to be mixing it by itself. It's going to be in something. But so far... Why am I getting an error? Can y'all still see me? Yeah, the melon rind I think I mixed too high. I did all of these at 0.5% just for consistency and ease of getting them all done. Plus there wasn't a whole lot of information on how high to mix any of these to start. It looks like pretty much everyone was mixing up at the same percentage. So I just did it that way. And I figured 0.5% would be a good place to start for even stronger ones. But yeah, for melon rind, I would definitely use it even lower than that. All right. Good. As it said, there was a USB error. I don't know if something's loose back there. I don't want to mess with it, but a lot of things are plugged in my USB, including my webcam. My microphone, keyboard, mouse. Anyway. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot. I was trying to find like kind of like dupes for like the Sig Sauer that I like. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm probably not. But unfortunately, couldn't really find anything with those keywords. So what I'm gonna probably do for now at least is just because they have, you can rent guns. I'll rent a few and go from there. Because I don't want to buy something and then hate it and then I'm stuck with it. Blue. She's so naughty. Like the past 2 nights, she's kept me up. Like by just doing stupid crap. And it's just driving me nuts. I don't know. It's better on its own, but it's still not great. But again, I'm not shooting tequila by itself. That's just not my shooting type of liquor. Like if I'm going to take a shot of something, it's probably going to be whiskey or rum. Those are my 2 ones. I used to be a huge vodka fan back in the day. Don't like it pretty much at all these days. I'll drink it when it's in something. But as far as shots of it, no. I think it's because I drank it so much when I was young. That's just like, no. Not for me. Oh, and I've also been bowling. So I do that like usually every other weekend. It's like a little form of exercise because I don't do anything. Plus, again, it's something to do with the family. And again, go out instead of staying in all the time. I've also seen Allie, the one I used to go on the massages with. I've seen her a couple times. She's got a new house. So that's exciting. All right, so cola is next, and starch base. Then I want to do the tobacco. Well, yeah, I want to do the tobacco. Damn it. Luckily, she's not a big meower at night, thankfully. She just jumps on everything, which I don't know what's worse. Probably the meowing, because at least the jumping around is not constant. But still annoying, because I'm a very light sleeper. I have a lot of sleeping issues. She was driving me up the wall. And I don't know what it is about these last 2 days. It's been particularly bad, but she's been getting on my last nerve. Dad, I don't think he did anything for his birthday, but luckily he did like the cherry-ish cigar that I made for him on Rush's show. You really liked it. I used mainly the Cigar Passion. That's like the base. And then I added marzipan, which he actually wants me to omit because he said the cherry note was slightly maybe too much. And that's really the only other note in the mix outside of tobacco. So I'm going to try omitting it because lowering it any more than it is, because it was already at like, I think 1/4% would be kind of pointless. So I'm going to see what he feels like without it being there at all, because it is just an accent. And then I had Soho and just a little bit of smooth vanilla. And he really, really liked it. So, and then he liked the Cherry Jolly Rancher I did as well. And he said it is spot on, but the flavoring is a little weak for him because I only did like 2% of the cherry extract. So I'll have to bump that up. But he said it was good as well. So cola right off the bat is a little weak at 1/2. I definitely have to go full percent on this one. Which I think we're going to have to do because the flavor I'm getting is too mild for me to really accurately judge. So I was a little prepared in case I did need to add percentages or more flavoring or whatever. And I did write down like how many grams or whatever I'd have to add accordingly. So I think I'm just going to bump it up to a whole 0.5%. So the total would be 1% for the cola. Because as weak as it is at 1/2, I just don't see it really benefiting from anything less than that. So that's what we're going to do. I would just do drops and I also made note of the different drops because some of them did weigh more heavily than others. But just to be super accurate, we're going to do it by weight because drops can be inconsistent. All right, so we're back up. We're up to 1%. I wasn't getting any carbonation from it or fizzy effect, none of that. A faint cola flavor. I did just little tiny 5 mils. There's a thing with I was doing 10 mils. Because it is easier to shake and measure and all that. The problem is then you're left with like 10 mil bottles of a tester that I'm probably never going to vape again after like a few pulls. And it's just wasteful. I have a couple times mixed for the mix and vixens because I usually do at least a few different versions of the same profile. Sometimes I'll mix all the rejects together just to see what happens because otherwise, it's just gonna get wasted anyway. And sometimes it's actually been pretty good. The The sangria one actually turned out well. I was able to vape that concoction. It's still like super faint. Might have to bump it up even more. I don't know if it's just not mixed or what. I'm not getting a whole lot of anything. I know I'm sniffling. It's just because I've been vaping out my nose. It's not because I'm sick. Knock on wood. Not getting a whole lot. I'm going to bump it up one more time. 0.5%, so it's going to be 1.5% total. I never have to go above 2% with Flavorah, or I haven't in the past. So we're like broaching that cusp. Well, I'm glad you're excited for it, Addie Tooney, because I'm not. My first version, even though it sounded good in theory, was absolutely horrific. So I made another variant. I haven't even tried that one yet, being completely honest. It's just not something I would look at and say, I want to vape that, personally. We're going to give this one more go, and then we're going to move on because we're taking too long with this. Yeah, I did one pumpkin just because the picture had a pumpkin in it. But I'm like, if this doesn't work, I am not spending a whole lot of time on this because, number one, I'm not a big pumpkin spice person. I just don't. I'm not crazy about it. The once a year we have it for like Thanksgiving and like load it with whipped cream is good enough for me. I don't do the pumpkin spice frappuccino and creamer and all. Ugh. Pumpkin spice M&Ms, it's disgusting. I mean, eat what you like, but not for me. You can have all the pumpkin spice. Now, me, I am more of a mint girl. So, like, give me a mint mocha, peppermint mocha type crap any day. You keep that pumpkin spice crap because I don't want it. Gingerbread, on the other hand, gingerbread is nice. I do like gingerbread. All right, so 1.5%, I'm getting flavor. I could still probably even bump it up to 2, maybe, but I would definitely have to go 1.5 on this. It honestly just tastes a whole lot of like Flavor Arts cola to me. It's not a huge difference from what I recall. Mind you, I'm not vaping cola all that often. Probably, I couldn't even tell you the last time I vaped cola. Not that I don't like it. It's just not something that I think to vape. I'm not getting any carbonation whatsoever, personally. It's more like a cola syrup or like a slushy, like when you have a cola slushy that's like melted. It's kind of like what it tastes like. But I mean, it's cola for sure. Yeah, it's cola. Say it's more Coca-Cola than Pepsi. To me, like the main difference between Pepsi and Coca-Cola is like the carbonation and sweetness level, which this isn't carbonated, so I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, moving on to starch base, because that's what you all wanted to see. Super stoked for that. Yeah, but if you are looking to get any of the Flavorah new flavors, I would recommend getting them today if you're able, because this is the last day that Bull City is having their sale, the 20% off. Coupon code Flavorah20. I don't know if the other vendors are doing a sale. I didn't see anything, but I don't know that I'm subscribed to any kind of Wizard Lab update like I am with Bull City. But like even on Reddit, I think that was where I first saw that. Or no, I think Flavorah, I don't know, somebody, it was on social media somewhere, who knows. But I think it was Flavorah themselves that I saw it first by, like on Twitter or Instagram or something. I don't know. But Flavorah or Bull City is the only one I saw a coupon code for. But it is also, they are also available at Wizard Flavors, which I'm guessing is Wizard Labs. I don't know if they changed their name to Gremlin, and I would guess East Egg Express. Let me check that for sure. I'm trying to go based on memory, which isn't great. Bull City, Gremlin, Wizard Vapes, and DIY Flavors. I'm not going to be here. Crackers at that, but vaping it, not really sure where I would need to vape a saltine, but who knows? Could be interesting. At this point, interesting flavors are kind of like what I'm going for. Because again, how many watermelons do you need? I have about probably 16. And I use maybe 1 or 2 of them on a regular basis. But, you know, who knows? Someone could come out with like the best watermelon ever. So I keep buying the new ones. It was raining last night. It was so nice. I love rain. Just like the sound of it, just like pattering on the roof. Nice little wind. Like it's windy right now, but it's not raining. Snow can F itself though. Hate snow. Looks pretty. But if I want to look at it, I'll just look on pictures online. I don't want to drive in it. I don't want to shovel it. Don't want to get stuck in it. Anyway, starch base. Now this is at 0.5%. Just a reminder to new people. It's pretty much like crackers. Unsalted white crackers. Like generic oyster crackers with no salt on them. That's what it is. I have ideas for it, which I'm not going to share until I try it. But in general, not really sure where you would use the saltine cracker, but actually it wouldn't be a saltine cracker because it has no salt on it. Just a white cracker, whatever, with no salt on it. But I mean, it's good, but it's a cracker. That's all I really can say about that. I don't know if that's I don't think that's what they were going for. I was thinking more of like a potato kind of additive note or whatever. It's similar to Real Flavors baked bread, if you've ever had it, the VG version. It has like a similar taste. Not identical, but similar. That's more of like a bread dough. Whereas this is a cracker. Both are like fine. But again, not really sure what you'd be using that for. All right, moving on to sweet and smoky tobacco. Smells really good. I'm a big fan of their tobaccos in general. Someone said it was similar to one of the Flavor Art cigars, Cuban Supreme. I haven't tried Cuban Supreme yet. The Cigar Passion I really, really like. So we'll see. This is again a 0.5%, which is generally the high end of tobaccos that I would mix them at for Flavorah. So we'll see how much dry burn that. Oh, I got the new Far Cry. Wasn't really intending on it. I actually never heard of it. Like, usually I hear about like new Far Cries and stuff way before they come out. Like the last one, the 5. I heard about that way before it came out. But New Dawn, like by the time I heard about it, it was like pretty much out. I'm not sure what that's about. It was also a lot cheaper than like other games, especially when it first comes out. So I'm not sure if it's like a, what do they call that, a DLC type thing, like where it's just kind of an extension, not like an entire game. Because I will say that it took a shorter amount of time to complete it than the other ones have. So I'm not really quite sure what it's about, but I did like it. Like a lot of people complain about it. I still enjoyed it. I mean, it is an extension of the last game, which I think it was pretty clear about. That's what it was. So I don't know why people were complaining about that. But I liked it. I still want to get the new Resident Evil, but I want to wait on that probably until it has a sale somewhere. It reminds me of something, I want to say native, slightly. Has like that leathery note. For some reason, I always get Tatanka and native mixed up. Probably have to consult my notes. probably should be writing these down. I'm gonna try to do that. So I actually like did this, because if I don't do this, I won't remember what I said, like my notes or whatever. Like I won't remember my opinion on them or anything. So I'll probably do that after the show, because I'm not going to do that in the middle and then it takes longer. All right, flavor list. It's either native or Tatanka that it's reminding me of. It has like a distinctive leather note, slight spices of some sort. Can't really pull exactly which. So apparently I don't have any notes in here for Tatanka. But on native. Okay, so I have notes for native, and it says unique, has a leather note, almost incense-like, slightly smoky, a bit of spice. So yeah, it sounds like it's similar to native, going by my notes. Because it doesn't sound would I say it might be similar enough? I think it's a little bit less incense heavy. Like I put like it almost has like an incense like note for the native one. Not getting as much of that with this one, but I would say I probably have to vape them side by side, but I would say they're pretty similar. Not really sure what they were going for with this, because I don't think they have the new flavors on their site yet. Like even like description wise, it's like if worse comes to worse, because you know, depending on the vendor you go to, the descriptions aren't great. So I usually will go direct to like the actual company that is producing it to get a very accurate description. But since they're not on the site yet, can't really do that. Did your legs just... Oh, yeah, I think I need to have the internet wire re-wrapped at the end because it's loose. It's been doing that. Am I here again? I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's definitely loose. It's done that. It did that last week on Mix and Vixens. Yeah, it's not Tatanka. It's, from what I'm looking at my notes, more like native. I forgot what I was going to do. Let me go to Bull City and see what the description is. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to pull up the starchy base to see what that says it's supposed to be. And pink fruit, because I did try pink fruit. That was another beta I tested. Well, I didn't test it, but I tried it. Somebody was nice enough to share their wares. Okay, where is it? Did they not have it? New arrivals. Fudge. I guess we're just going to do Flavorah. Sort by newest items. So it doesn't look like they have sweet and smoky tobacco. Interesting. Let's try Gremlin. I thought they were having their entire line. Apparently not. Flavors. If we can't find it, I'm just going to move on. Because again, I just trying to be relatively quick. All right, sweet and smoky tobacco is on Gremlin's site. It's described as another great tobacco offering. Balance of smoky and sweet, just like the name says, without being too ashy. So that's pretty much all it says. It says that it could pair well with smoked butterscotch or an RY4. So not a whole lot of descriptive. So basically it's sweet and smoky like it says, without being too ashy. I don't get a whole lot of ash from it, I will say that. But again, it reminds me a lot of native, just less incense-y. See, when I tried pink fruit, it tasted nothing like a pink Starburst, and I was very disappointed. That was the beta version. So we'll try the regular. I guess we could do that next since you brought it up. I also want to try the marshmallow vanilla. Jammy Berry is also supposed to be very good, so I want to try that one. I don't know that we're going to get through all of these because we still have quite a lot to go. But I do like the sweet and smoky tobacco. I gave native a 5 out of 5 on my notes, so I obviously like it, and this is similar to it, just less incense-y heavy, or I don't know if there's wood spice in native, I don't remember, but something wood spice like in that flavor. It doesn't have that at all, or it's very mild in comparison. But if you like native, I would say you would like this. Might be even similar to red burley a little bit. Maybe like the sweet tobacco part. I don't know. I'm not as good as Jen as far as being able to smell and pick them apart. So I can't tell you. I can just tell you what I vape. And I haven't tried a lot of like the various Flavorah tobaccos in a while. I've been kind of on a tobacco kick lately, so maybe that's something I'll look further into. I don't know. But I've been really digging the Flavor Art Cigar Passion with that smooth vanilla. Those two really go well together. So I would imagine that smooth vanilla would go really nicely with Flavorah's tobaccos. I don't think I've tried any of them with it. I'm running low because I shared with various people thinking I never get through it all. And I still probably won't because, I mean, honestly, even though there's not much in there, it lasts a while because I use a very, very small amount. But eventually I will end up having to re-get it. It's probably like my favorite of like the really concentrated ones, like Alpine Strawberry. To me, it's whatever. It's nothing. I guess if you're like one of those people that can't taste strawberry, it'd be really good for you. But I, luckily enough, don't have problems with that. So it's just not something that is all that important to me. Rich cinnamon is good, but I don't vape cinnamon that much, so I don't end up using it very often. What are the other like expensive ones? I don't remember, but yeah, smooth vanilla is definitely one that I find myself using more and more, and my dad really likes it. I think that's the note he probably really likes in that cigar that I made him. At least I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's not the note that he doesn't like. But he said it had a little bit too much cherry, so I guess we'll have to figure that out. But then again, it might be a good thing if he didn't like the smooth vanilla because it's expensive, and if he ends up liking it, I'll have to make it more often. All right, so this one, oops, it's marshmallow vanilla. I was going to do the pink one next, but I started dripping this, not paying attention. So I guess we're doing marshmallow vanilla next. Now, I really like their marshmallow. I could have sworn they already had a marshmallow vanilla, but maybe I'm mixing it up with one-on-one because they have a marshmallow vanilla. I don't know. I have to try the cigar passion with berries. I just really like it. I think it's really, really good. Like I can taste it over the other stuff I mixed for my dad. And it was really good. It's like one of the few, especially flavor art, that I would vape by itself as a tobacco or a cigar. I'm getting a weirdness from this vanilla. I don't know why. I might have to change to a different. I'm gonna change to a different RDA just in case. It's like I get a vanilla or a marshmallow note, but then I get a off note. It might be from the RDA. Okay, come on now. All right, so this one is the drop solo. I have to turn the wattage up. This one's wrapped pretty low. It's one thing I hate about this damn mod. It's a touch screen. It's like the feature that kind of makes it unique is the one. It's the only thing I hate about it. About this Osmotis Minikin or whatever the hell it is. I hate it. It's so finicky. I've gotten very used to using this that doesn't have that, and I like it so much more because of that. All right. So we're going to actually put the vanilla aside. We're going to move on to the pink fruit because that's the one I wanted to do next anyway. And we'll come back to that vanilla just to make sure that the note that I'm getting is really something, or maybe if it's just because I'm mixing all of these consecutively and are not mashing well or meshing well or whatever. These all also have no nick, just because I knew I'd be vaping them back to back and I didn't want to get vaped out, because I do tend to get vaped out sometimes or nicked out or whatever. Even though I'm only doing one, it's just like the constant chain vaping sometimes gets to me. Usually not with 1%, but I just wanted to make sure. Plus, it's like one variable that you can kind of get rid of. Because like sometimes like I've had it where my nicotine has gone bad and I haven't really noticed. And then I single flavor test and everything tastes like crap. And then it turns out it's my nic. And it ruins all the work that I did trying to do the single flavor testing just because my nic was bad. Oh, ST. Hello, hello, hello. I still need to try that banana pudding V2 that I mixed like 2 months ago. I tried it like immediately, but then I never tried it again. Just to see like how it turned out. Because if I can get substitutes for those couple of ingredients that are kind of inconsistent right now as far as in Aware reformulating everything, that would be great. Because that's one of like my most renowned mixtures, and now one of the flavors that is essential for it has apparently been reformulated. All right, so pink fruit. I don't know if my tongue is broken, or maybe just the flavors are too weak. And what I'm tasting is like because I'm getting corn. Like it tastes like corn, like a corn note. And I don't know if that's the VG and that's how it tastes. I don't know. I'm going to try bumping up both the vanilla and the marshmallow. It's 1%. So I would find it hard to believe it'd be 2 different RDAs with 2 different coils. And I'm both 2 different flavors, and I'm both getting like this weird off corn note. So I'm going to try bumping them up. Bye, Addie. So marshmallow we're going to bump up, and fruit. Pink fruit. Now when I tried pink fruit initially, I wasn't getting a Starburst at all. And that's kind of like what I was expecting. I more so got something similar to pink guava. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna bump up marshmallow vanilla to a full %, which is still in the range of like what I would mix Flavorah at typically. I just didn't want to over flavor because over flavoring is a pain to try to fix, whereas adding a lot more simple or simpler, whatever. All right, pink fruit we're gonna add. Pink Starbursts are like my favorite. Like the pink flavor is my favorite of the group. So it'd be nice to have a pink Starburst flavor that's authentic. I haven't really tried one yet. The Real Flavors one is kind of close, but it's a little thin from what I remember. Plus it was a VG version, which the VG versions are like pain in the ass to work with. But yeah, these little tester bottles are cute. They're not like the big funny looking ones like these, but I think these are strictly for testers. But I will say that whatever they did with these new bottles is good, because if you've ever ordered from Flavorah before or ECX, they tend to have bottle issues where they leak. These did not leak at all. So Flavorah, if you're watching, Bryson, these bottles are good. I didn't get any leaking from them or any issue at all opening them, none of that. So that's good. All right, so back to pink fruit. One thing about doing small testers that sucks is when you're shaking them, it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything. It's like the more liquid you have to kind of bounce around, the better it incorporates, which is usually why I do like a closer to 10 tester, but then I found that I was wasting a lot of materials. So that's why I stopped doing that. No, James, I would get them messed up. Like it had nothing to do with me being gentle. Like they would come leaking everywhere. So the male, yes, they're rough with things, but like other bottles I haven't had issues with. Yeah, I've definitely had issues, and I know a lot of people have. So you're very lucky. Anyway, pink fruit. If it still tastes funky, we're just going to move on because we still have quite a few to go. And I'll have to revisit it later. But I just have a feeling that the flavoring was too low. Thanks, Flavorah Vape. I love it when you call me out. Still not getting much of anything. I'm going to increase it higher. Since Cesare said that it's weak, we're just going to go ahead and bump it a whole %. So now it's going to be 2%. It's kind of reckless, but nobody got time today. And this is one that I was really interested in. So I would like to actually taste it. That would be great. I really want to try this Jammy Berry. The Jammy Berry is supposed to be very good. From like the few people that have actually tried it. All right. Burn some of this off. It's the same flavor, but this will be stronger, hopefully. And this again, the drop solo. This has a lower resistance wrap in it, so I had to bump the wattage up a little bit. I like to be around 2.8 volts. That's what I found that I like. It's very low. It's probably like Ego pen strength or lower, because I think Ego pens are around 2.8. Maybe that's why I like it, because that's really like the first vape device I used. I don't know if that's what it is, but it's just what I find works for me. Okay, now I'm definitely getting flavor. Not sure what I'm getting though. I still don't get like a Starburst though. I should have found my pen before I got into all this. I hope I remember this. Like how I bump these up and whatnot. Oh, so annoying. That's one thing Blue likes to do, is knock pens over. Like I'll have a pen on my desk or something like that, and she'll just knock it off. I had Jolly Ranchers on my desk. She was knocking those off. Like that's what she was doing this morning. And now like the resistance is bouncing everywhere. I think this one definitely needs a new coil in it. Yeah, I don't get Starburst from it either. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. It's what it sounded like it was supposed to be. It does taste pink though. I don't know how colors have flavors, but it tastes pink. Not really sure what though. Like vaguely strawberry with like a cream note. So it's like it wants to be a Starburst almost, but I'm not getting a Starburst. Yeah, I don't know. My labels are fine. Never really had an issue with their labels, maybe one or two. Typically, if there was any kind of issue, it'd be leaking. Even with the newer packaging, at first, it was a little leaky, but it seems like they figured out the new packaging. And then these were perfectly fine. So these work. I think E-Cig Express uses something similar, because they've had issues with their bottles in the past as well. So hopefully they figured that all out. Yeah, it makes sense, Cesare. It's kind of similar to what I'm getting, but even at 2%, it's still pretty weak. And for me, that's saying a lot, because, like I said, I've never had to go above 2% for anything Flavorah. Usually I'm at 1 or lower. Even 2% is high. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just a little weak and not really sure what it's supposed to be. According to Bull City Flavor, see if it has a description. It says a blend of fruits that can be described as pink. So that's pretty much what I said. This flavor has a dusted sweetness to it, blends well with other grapefruit, but also perfect for things like lemonade. I do think it would be very good in a lemonade. I will say that. Might go over cherimoya. Citrus soda, yes. Candy roll, yes. That's like the things that it recommends pairing it with. So yeah, I'd say it's accurate, but they've kind of went flavor art on the description and they're just calling it pink. I will say it's pink and it's fruity, so the name is accurate, but as far as what it's supposed to be, I don't know. And it's pretty weak. So expect to have to bump it up a little bit higher than you normally would. But that's it. All right, let's try this vanilla, marshmallow vanilla. You bump this one up to 1%. Okay, I'm definitely getting a little bit more now. Mainly, I just get marshmallow. That's definitely the prominent note. I feel like marshmallow already has vanilla in it, so I'm not really sure why we need a marshmallow and a marshmallow vanilla. There goes my fire detector, smoke detector. Heads up, there's smoke upstairs. I'm gonna have to turn that off, otherwise it's gonna be super loud. So I'm gonna be right back.